What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Cody NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Tim Sweeney. We're going to talk about Tim Sweeney, Epic Games CEO, says Unreal Engine 5's performance problems aren't about the engine. It's about the developers who choose to optimize. We're going to talk about Helldivers 2 player count skyrockets, topping 500,000 players. We're also going to talk about players are loving the new co-op Spider-Man multiplayer mod. So we'll talk about these things and more on today's show. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And apparently, make sure you are subscribed because YouTube loves to unsubscribe people. I thought it only worked for bigger channels, but no, I guess it's working for us as well. So there's always people that are losing subscriptions that don't know that their subscription was lost. Z just said in chat that he's a member, and yet he was unsubscribed. So, like, make it make sense, right? YouTube loves to unsubscribe people. So make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. And like we do, we always talk about conversations about games, entertainment, pretty much anything on the show, right? We have a segment that's down the rabbit hole. Everything's up for conversation. Conversation's a great thing to have, and I love that I get to do what I do on this channel because of it, and just because I'm a small channel doesn't mean I'm going to change or anything like that. So I like talking about what we talk about. I give other people the opportunity to speak as well. You guys go back and forth with me in chat, and I do love it. So I look forward to it. I hope you guys look forward to it every single day. Make sure you guys do hit that like button because it does push our content out to other people. So what's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. Coulter, thank you very much for coming out this morning. Good morning, Roic, Eclipse, Travis, Water Bear, Altern, good morning. Who else is here? Did I say Roic? I said Roic. Z, what's going on, man? All right, I think. Oh, Worlds, what's going on? Good morning. All right. James Thomas, good morning. All right, so let's start. Let's start with Helldivers, right? Helldivers right now came out on Xbox earlier this week, right? On Tuesday, it was the launch of Helldivers, okay? And the numbers are speaking volumes right now. Now, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Are people coming back because of the updates coming out next week, which is next Tuesday? An update comes in, one of the bigger updates they've done for Helldivers. Is it the numbers of people just coming back on Steam? Is it people coming back on PlayStation, coming back to play this after the time because they're just excited because now they have new people that they can play with over on the Xbox that is cross-play? Or is it the numbers coming from Xbox? Again, this is my question to you. We actually don't know, but we do know that Helldivers 2 player count skyrockets, topping 500,000 players. Okay. What is this? Is this a? Can I close this ad? No, can't close this ad. All right, there. Oh, nope, another ad. Fantastic. All right. So, in case you missed it, all right, can I make this? Can I make it really small? Can I make it big? No, can't get rid of it. Awesome. We'll go there. In case you missed it, Helldivers 2 has arrived on Xbox, and it seems to be doing rather well for itself as Xbox players pile in and pledge their lives to defend Super Earth. Okay, Helldivers 2 players count jumped at one point, topping 500,000 players across all platforms. Okay, now we can look at the Steam chart numbers, right? And as a matter of fact, let's go to the Steam chart numbers. Right, let's look at the Steam chart numbers just so we can kind of get a basis of what's happening right now, right? So in the last 24 hours, or I should say, let's go to the last 48 hours, the top peak was 167,000, and that was on Wednesday the 27th, okay? So that was PC. Right now, there's 71,000 players playing Helldivers, 131,000 in the last 24 hours, and of course, they hit the 458,000 just on Steam 1.5 years ago, okay? So they had 167,000 on Wednesday, okay? But this is numbers across all platforms. So an official statement from the president of Super Earth, an official statement says, today is given thanks to everyone and new Helldivers that has joined us. Okay, valiant fight for managed democracy. Since the opening of the new enlistment centers in our recovering mega cities, we have seen an unprecedented jump in recruitment among citizens in all ages and classifications. Our bravery, patriotism, and potential sacrifice will make the galaxy safer, freer for all citizens, and give them, right? So it says, while the official Helldivers account has welcomed new players committed to the unprecedented jump in recruitment, okay, 500,000. Okay, this is going to be a bit awkward, but we can ask you to stop shitting your pants somewhere, okay? This is from the actual Helldiver director, I believe, right? It says, this assuming message has accompanied by a screenshot of game's current in-game player count across Steam, PlayStation, and now Xbox, which totaled 500,490 willing and loyal soldiers of Super Earth, which is captured for you below. Okay, so all these ads. You think there's enough ads, guys? Do you think there's enough ads on this page? Jesus Christ! As already played a fair bit of Helldivers 2 back in the launch of PC, I jumped in for reviewing the Xbox version, saying in short, just like it was at launch, Helldivers 2 is a fantastic video game, and one of it, which is also hop for a quick mission or just complete a daily objective or team up with your besties as you settle in for a long night of patriotism, right? So it says, elsewhere, the developers Arrowhead have announced that a next major update is Into the Unjust, which is a new update coming out. So obviously, the numbers that are happening inside of Helldivers, right? Again, we look at this, and this number here is usually 40 to 50%. I'm sorry, more than that. If I'm not mistaken, I heard someone say it's like 60% of the player base, right? So if 131,000 people, okay, of the 500,000 people is usually the bigger number, console has surpassed, in the last couple days, has surpassed the concurrent player base on Steam because of PlayStation and Xbox, which means Xbox has got about 200,000, okay? About 200,000 concurrent players just on Xbox, roughly, okay? And the other half, okay, is also on PlayStation, coming back to PlayStation, playing with their friends or whatnot. And I have to say, I've noticed a lot of people that I've been playing a lot the last couple days, and everyone in my group, in my random thing, is mostly Xbox players, right? So this number's huge. And going back to other talks of other games where they're talking about like a 200,000 concurrent player base means, you know, it's about this many people playing the game. I would say there's about two and a half, right? I would say about 2.5 million people that have purchased it on Xbox as of today, okay? And that number is probably going to go up this weekend because most people, again, probably won't be able to play the games until the weekend. People are going back to school, right? People that are adults that have jobs, maybe haven't played yet, but they're excited for it to come out. So it'll be very interesting, okay? It'd be very interesting to see what happens with that number, right? That full number. Now, obviously, is this number going to be consistent? We won't know this number until they share the number, obviously, because it's on Xbox. We don't know those numbers. On PlayStation, they don't know those numbers. The only number we know is this. And we know that the 24-hour peak is 131,000, almost 132,000, but 500,000 people have been playing, and this was from a couple, I think the first day or second day yesterday, right? Let me see what this article was written. The article was written 1 hour ago, so probably yesterday, the 27th. Right, so if 132,000 are coming from Steam, the remainder has to be coming from console for concurrent player base, and that's huge numbers. That's great. That's great for not only PlayStation, right? That's great for Xbox. That's great for gamers in general because Helldivers is doing very well. Not only, and Helldivers is number 1 on the Steam store, and number, I think, 12. So they have the deluxe edition, and then they have, or the Super Earth edition, and then they have the regular edition. And they're both number 1 and I think 12 on the Steam charts a year and a half later, right? And it's not based on, it's based on revenue coming in. So Helldivers right now is on the top of the charts, which is awesome for them. Good for Arrowhead Studios, good for Sony PlayStation. Maybe they'll kind of wake up from this, right? Knowing that, holy shit, we almost screwed it because we want people to sign in to make PlayStation accounts over on PC. And now, in the very beginning of this, when you log into Xbox, it asks, hey, do you want the data, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, right? And you have a choice. You don't actually have to have a PlayStation account or anything to link it up or anything like that. So, good for Helldivers. I've been playing any moment I have in the day. like yesterday morning before the show, I played like 2 rounds, right? I like it because it respects my time. I can come in, I can play trivial, I can play easy, I can play medium, I can do a shorter mission, I can do a longer mission, I can just drop in, do the main mission, then extract. I can join up, I can help somebody. Like Helldivers to me is like the perfect game to respecting your time, at least for me. Okay. I absolutely love the fact that I can jump in for 10 minutes. I can jump in for 30 minutes. I can jump in for 6 hours straight if I want to. And that's what I really like about the business model of what Helldivers is. And I talked about this on Reforge's podcast over a year and a half ago when the game first came out. I said they're in a predicament where they are, because it's almost like you're role playing inside of this game, and they can make announcements and do different things for this game without having a roadmap. They can just, hey, we need people to come in and defend Super Earth and change the stuff. And since that time, they've proven that it's the perfect recipe to do stuff like that, where they enter the tank or the vehicle or the guns, and they meld it in to the actual story of the game. So obviously, it's going to be big numbers when they finally do share the numbers, and they will, because it's such a big number for Xbox that they want to show it. And when they do, it'll be funny. We were joking about this the other day, but wouldn't it be funny if, and we're talking about the smaller fan base here, right? The smaller fan base. I'm talking about the Sony ponies and the Xbox that always argue that these people don't buy these games, and these guys say they don't buy games. It would be very interesting if more people bought it on Xbox than PlayStation. That would say, that would be echo through the industry. And then Sony cannot ignore this and be like, we probably need to put more of our games on Xbox because these people are not going to come over here, so we might as well put our games over there. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about Helldivers? What do you think about these numbers? Do you think they can surpass even these numbers of 500,000 players across all the platforms? Let me know this weekend. This weekend. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Are you enjoying Helldivers? Do you think more games should come across all platforms? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. What's going on? Good morning, Wonder Rose. What's going on, Sarge? Jason Marshall, good morning. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Eclipse says, who the hell said Helldivers is dead before this? It was at like 30,000 on PC. Yeah, I don't know who said it was dead. World says, I think it's a mix of more players being online with Xbox launch, having more friends able to play. ODST Warbond, plus they just announced another new Warbond today. Yeah, it's for Tuesday. They announced it a couple days ago, World. Roic says, I love how the dev always stays in character when they're posting something. Yeah, I think it's other games can't do this, Roic. You know what I'm saying? I said this a year and a half ago on Reforge's podcast. I said they can't. No other company can do what they're doing right now. They've set the tone from the very beginning, okay, and they're in character. It's like we're all part of we're like LARPing, or we're part of a Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game, you know what I mean? But with inside the Helldivers, there's people that inside the game, right, when you're playing with them, if you have your mic open, they're in character, man. They're in character. You don't see this a lot with other games, right? Like in your head canon, you're like, oh, I'm a dark elf, and this is my backstory and stuff like that, but you're not playing an elf. Like you, the character, your mind is. You're like, I'm a smuggler. I'm a dark elf, or whatever it is, right? In this game, they are the soldier. You see what I'm saying? Not only are they in character, but the people playing the game are like, yes, democracy, right? And they're in character. It's fun. We're in on the joke, but we're also the same. You know what I mean? It's a really cool experience with Helldivers. Really cool. Let's see here. Jason Marshall says the average roughly is 50 to 60,000 on Steam alone per day. Eclipse says, what's crazy is the September 4th update, not even here yet. Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be insane numbers. I think they might be pushing, well, let me see, what the Helldivers numbers right now is 458,000 1.5 years ago. I think that goes up to like 700, 800,000. Who thinks that? Do you think I'm off? Do you think I'm insane? I think with the new update, and you won't see it here, I think they beat the all-time peak here on Steam. I think this goes to 500, 600,000 next week. Probably next weekend, if not on Tuesday. Okay? I think a lot of people are going in because right now, people that are not playing Helldivers, they haven't gone back yet. They're waiting for the update to happen on Tuesday, and they're also psyched and hyped up on the ODST stuff. They're hyped because their friends are on Xbox and they can play with them now. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there. I think concurrently, they'll post something that says 700,000, 800,000 people are playing the game concurrently. Waterbear says, you see how easy it is to give numbers? All these games that claim bullshit numbers and can't prove, it amazes me. Yeah, or trust me, bro. Assassin's Creed Shadows has 10 million people playing the game. Oh, players. It's 5 million players, 1.5 million sales. Right? They hide it. They hide it. They won't hide it when they actually are excited about something, right? Z says HD Helldivers 2 is also fun to watch on stream. Lots of people engaging in views as well. James Thomas says, I imagine even when the update drops, it's going to be shoot even higher. 100%. 100%. Jason says, I've still got the big update next week, so it's going to climb even more. Plus, the positive word of mouth is going around on Xbox community right now. Eclipse says, yeah, the update makes me excited. It's pretty much like the like a dungeons like Starship Troopers did. What we played, yeah, you get to go inside the lair. So last night, I played just a solo mission right after stream, right? I thought I was going in. I was like, I'll put it on easy. I'll go up against the bots in the city, right? I went easy, bots, right? Not bots like NPC bots. You know what I mean? Like the bots, the automatons, right? I went in on easy mode, and I was like, this is fine. I'll just get in, do my mission, get out. Holy Christ. I felt like that meme where the guy is like just sweating. I was like, what is happening right now? I failed the mission, right? I killed almost all the things on the point, like all the markers and all the bases. And I was at extraction and I got overwhelmed. And I was like, what in the hell? I was like, what's going on? So then I played one more match because I couldn't end the night with a failure, okay, for democracy, okay? So I played another one, and I started playing the bugs, and I put it on medium difficulty, and I jumped in, and I didn't have anybody with me. I was defending. It was that, the percentage where you have to go up to, 100% to defend it, and they just kept coming in waves and waves and waves, and it was super easy with multiple people. I'm by myself, and I'm playing, and I'm like, what's going on, man? And then all of a sudden, I shit you not, like a prayer, right? All of a sudden, 2 hell pods came out of nowhere, slammed on the ground. Two random guys show up and destroy. It was awesome. It was an awesome moment. I was like, this game is so good. It's so good. It like captured that moment. I was like, this is a moment. This is not a Battlefield moment. This is a Helldivers moment, right? And when they got in, they slammed down. One guy threw a grenade. Another one dropped his pod. They saluted, and then we proceeded to own the bugs that terror asses. Okay, I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is why I'm a fan. This is why I'm a fan of Helldivers. Ray says, yeah, but Helldivers is likely the only game we were jealous this whole generation. I don't see other PlayStation games doing those numbers. I wouldn't say it doesn't have to do these numbers, though, Ray, but PlayStation has to look at this and said, Helldivers was there for a year and a half on PlayStation and PC, and they had their player base. They made good money. But then if Xbox comes out, now obviously the Halo thing, there's a lot of stuff going on, but they have to look at this and go, we just sold another 4 million copies. I don't know if that's the number. I'm just saying a number, right? 4 million, 5 million copies. They have to look at that and say, maybe we should get God of War over there, right? I don't know what Gears is doing right now, but Gears coming from Xbox over to PlayStation, if it does the numbers as Forza Horizon 5, where it sells 4, 5, 6 million copies, they got to look at that and go, look, people are hungry for these games over there, and people over there are hungry for our games. Maybe we should put our games over there. Let's see. Buckle up, Helldivers 2 copycats are already in the works. Oh, for sure. For sure, Sarge. I guarantee you, like, Division, the next Division will have a Helldivers mode inside there. Modes, Sarge. I don't know about standalone games. There will be standalone games, but Helldivers will be a mode inside of, like, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Fortnite. 100%. 100%. Jason says Xbox players would eat up Spider-Man 2 in a heartbeat. Wow, oh yeah. They would. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, you put that over on Xbox, it's selling, man. It's selling. Let's see here. Windows says, I think all games should go everywhere. Like for me, I'll never go to PlayStation. I like the ecosystem. I'm on with Game Pass, etc. So they'll never get me to buy their stuff, which people don't understand. Yeah, it's like this. It's like you give a dog a bone, the dog's like, it's like they're protecting their thing. And what they don't understand, like the old culture is, well, I have PlayStation, well, I have Sega, you had Nintendo back in the day. And back in the day, it's like, yeah, I have Mario and I have Sonic. That's what it was, right? And there wasn't this Sonic is, I have a better game than you. It's like, oh, no, I have Sega. I don't have Mario, whatever. And they're like, oh, okay, can I come over and play? And they're like, yeah, right? It wasn't like, get away from me, you scumbag, you're a Nintendo owner. No, it wasn't like that. It was gamers were like, oh, cool. Like, I looked at it as if we didn't own a system. I would go to my friend's house and be like, oh, I want to play the Sega Genesis. I want to play the Atari Jaguar, right? I looked at it that way. I didn't look at it as, you have that system? I don't understand that whole thing. Never did. Roic says, I'm guessing 650,000. 650,000 total number, Roic, or you think the number on Steam alone will be 650,000? What's going on, Robert Jones? Travis says, 30, speaking of shadows, did you see the comment the head of it said that they're also a quote, engagement matters more than sells now. It's about getting the players, not about if they buy it or not. I would say in a world of free-to-play games, that would be 100% true. But you would have to get the people to buy a game, right? Make a game, sell a game. If a game is good, people will buy it. If it's a free-to-play game, people will try it. But how do you get them to stay? If your game is not good, they won't stay. Sarge says, desperate, overwhelmed, and outclassed. And then when the sweet touch of an angel stake through the sky and deliver justice and democracy. Yeah, it was an awesome moment when I was playing. Oric says, wonder if Sony is kicking themselves, wondering why they didn't do this sooner. Or maybe it was also a play of what until the numbers dip and they could blink maybe and bring them back. Maybe this was planned from the start. Right? Maybe it was planned from the start. I mean, it's a live service game, right? They had no problem putting their live service games over, but maybe they were like, you know what? Let's make a deal with Halo before we bring it over to Xbox and just drop Helldivers. Maybe we should make a deal with them. Now, obviously, there was a podcast that talked about how Sony approached Xbox and said, hey, we want to do something, right? I know some people were talking about how Xbox approached them, and that wasn't the case. Sony approached Xbox, said by the Arrowhead guy himself, and the representative said, yeah, they reached out to us first. I mean, it makes sense, right? Even Arrowhead was like, yeah, the Helldivers are hell jumpers. Kyle says, turn my Xbox on last night before home pops up. I get the ad to buy Helldivers. World says, I was tempted to jump back into Helldivers now. Fill the space between now and Borderlands 4 for launch. It's good right now. I mean, it's good before, but you have this new rejuvenation of Helldivers because of it, because of everyone coming in. Back here says, do you beat all live service games if there are free DLC story events that also the War Bond was only $10 only, and you only needed to grind for the medal, not buying some battle pass system? Yeah, their whole thing of Helldivers system is good. In the very beginning when they first came out, a lot of people got burnt out because they were doing too many war bonds, so they kind of like spaced them out because they were doing like one a month. So they kind of like slowed that process down. Like right now they have the Helldivers one, or I'm sorry, the Halo ODST one, and then they also have the new one coming out next Tuesday. So there's like 2 war bonds going on. But I think it's a really good balance that Arrowhead did with Helldivers, because if you don't want to spend the $10, right? You bought the game for $40, or maybe you got the other edition for like $60, but you didn't want to spend more money, right? You could just play the game, level up your character, go on your missions, and you're rewarded. And this is what I love about it. This is why it respects your time. You're rewarded with super credits within the game, right? You're rewarded with your time in the game as you play the game. It's random, but you could find a place, get the super credits. You might get 20, right? 10 or 20 a match. You might get up to 100 in a match. It all depends on how lucky you are. And then you could spend that money and buy the stuff. And then what happens is you have this like goodwill builds up. You're like, oh, well, they're not trying to, microtransaction me every 5 seconds. There are stores there, but you earn that currency within the actual game, and then you could purchase it. And when you do, because you're rewarded by that, you're like, you know what? I'm going to give them $10 because I've been playing it for this long. They really earned my thing. I really like the game. And then you might spend another $10 and then just buy the war bond itself. And it never expires. Once you buy the war bond, it never expires. You can constantly pick and choose which one you want to go up. There's incentives inside each war bond for weapons and whatnot. Again, you can purchase it or you can earn it, and it'll take a lot longer, but it's still there. I like it. When it says all this talk about Helldivers 2, I need to go back and have it on PC and just never touched it in a long time, a casual. So hopefully I can still progress everything. You can progress, and there's going to be people that help you out there. Just make sure that you don't go in, because there is a difficulty, but the difficulty scaling is not that they're more tanky or they have more health, okay? The difficulty level in Helldivers is based on, so if I did trivial, it's like the smaller guys, maybe the next level up guys. If I do easy, they get the bigger bugs or the bigger robots that come in. If you do medium, they add another variant come in, which is a little bit more tanky, not more health, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a more difficult guy. But if you play a higher difficulty and you haven't unlocked certain guns and weapons or stratagems, you're at a disadvantage. So it's got this progression where if you're with a group that has stuff, they can drop it for you and you can use their weapons and they can call another one in over time. So you have the means to actually defeat the higher end stuff, even if you haven't unlocked the stuff yourself, right? But you are at a disadvantage because maybe you don't have the stratagem with the higher bomb that drops or the turret gun. But it's done very well. It's done very well how they balance everything out. Like yesterday, me and my son were playing, and one guy was level 80. He had like all the vehicles and stuff. He dropped the vehicle down. He didn't get in the vehicle. He dropped the vehicle for us because he knew we were lower level, okay? We got in the vehicle, and we started driving around. My son's in the turret in the back. I'm driving around. He's just mowing things down. He's having a blast. The other 2 guys are running around just grabbing all the supplies and stuff, like, or the samples and whatnot. Like, it's just a good time, man. It's a really good time. What's going on, Roadkill? What the hell's going on? You crazy, crazy. Now let's smash that freaking like button. Let's do it. Hit that like button. Thanks, Roadkill. Warbird says, so this weekend we got a full slate of college football games. Helldivers 2, Path of Exile 2, Gears of War, and Lost Souls aside. Good times, man. Good times. There was like nothing, and now there's too much, right? I was like, I don't know what to play. Now I'm playing like Grounded 2, Helldivers 2. I'm playing Path of Exile 2. Lots of twos. Helldivers. Hell Let Loose. Helldivers, right? Last time I played it was after they added those damn fire faction of robots. Those damn things would destroy you. Rewards are much greater for higher difficulties. 100%, Jason. But the problem is if you're a lower level and you go play a higher difficulty, you're going to get your ass kicked. So you might die and fail unless you're with a group of people that know what they're doing. Like if you have one guy that knows what he's doing, 3 guys that are noobs, you're going to get destroyed, and then you won't get the rewards. Do you know what I mean? Because you fail the mission. Because you can't get the samples and stuff unless you extract. You do get the rewards though. You do get the XP. You do get the medals and whatnot, but you get a lot less of them if you fail. Rocco says, yeah, man, I don't know how they do it. Some people do it Helldiver experience solo. It gets fucking crazy out there, bro. I went on a lower difficulty, and the robots destroyed me, dude. Destroyed me. Windows says, I forgot also that I can try tomorrow Path of Exile 2 for the first time without buying. Remember, though, Path of Exile 2, you don't ever have to purchase it. If you want to buy it early because of early access, you're not buying the game. You're buying a cosmetic that also allows you to play the game. You can wait for the game to come out. It's free this weekend, but you can wait for the game to come out. It is a free-to-play game. I believe Helldivers 2 is on sale right now, Travis. At least on Steam, I believe it is. I could have sworn it was. Here, let me open Steam. I know you don't have computer. I know you play on PlayStation. PlayStation probably won't put it on sale because PlayStation knows you'll pay full price. I'm pretty sure they put it on sale though on Steam. Of course, Steam is updating. Yeah, Windows says yes, it's sale on Steam. Yeah, I don't know if it's on sale. I don't know if it's on sale on PlayStation. Probably not. Helldivers 2 is $39.99. It's not on sale for me. Oh, but the Super Citizen Edition, it's because I already own the other one, so it's only charging $20. Right. Well, that's what the price is anyway. Dude, the very positive rating, 578,000 reviews. And then on the other one, it's 577,000. That's a lot of good reviews, man. That's a lot of good reviews. It's over 1 million reviews between two editions. It was on sale? Okay. What's going on, Mr. Luke? All right, let's go from Helldivers. Let's talk about Tim Sweeney over here. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Make sure you are subscribed if you are a subscriber, because on my side, I've noticed this, right? And Z said it earlier. I'm going to reiterate it again, because I'm at this number, right? 2,580 subscribers. It would go up by 3 and then go down by 5. And then go up by 6 and then go down by 2. I've been stuck at this, 2,500, 78, 79, 80, 81 for like 5-6 months, which is crazy, right? And I don't know if people are, I'm like, everyone that shows up, why would they all of a sudden, they know what my content is. It's not like my content has changed, okay? So it's like all of a sudden a subscriber leaves, but then another one comes and then another one leaves. And it's like, I feel like YouTube itself is unsubscribing people. So just make sure your subscription is still hit. All right. So Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney says Unreal Engine 5's performance problems aren't about the engine. They're about when developers choose to optimize. I always love this, right? Haven't read the article yet. We don't read the article until I read it on stream with you guys. But just off the heading itself, don't you love how it's never anyone else's problem? Like, it's always everyone else's fault. It's never the person's fault. Like, let's just say my channel, right? It's like, oh, it's your guys' fault that my channel's not growing. No, it would be my fault the channel's not growing because I'm doing something wrong that I don't know, and that's why my channel's not growing, right? If Epic Games is saying Unreal Engine 5's performance problems, it's not on us. It's not on my engine. It's because the guys that are using my engine don't know how to optimize it, right? Seems a little weird to be like, maybe you should look into it and be like, why is there so many problems with it across the board? Why is there stuttering? Why is there a whole bunch of stuff that happens when people use the Unreal Engine 5? Maybe we should look into it. instead of saying, well, it's just those people that don't optimize. Now, I would love if someone did an actual video on optimization, because there are a lot of games that don't do optimization. So games are struggling across multiple platforms, and Sweeney says optimization should start early, not at the end of development. Okay. There's no doubt that the Unreal Engine has become one of the most popular tools for building modern games. More studios are shifting to Unreal Engine 5, including Halo Studios, which has finally left behind a long-serving blame engine. What I find funny is everyone's leaving other engines because Unreal Engine gives the engine away for free, and only charge when people start to sell their game, which is a lot better than if they had to get an engine from scratch and put millions and millions and millions of dollars up front. A lot of people, even bigger companies like Microsoft and now Halo Studios, are using an Unreal Engine instead of using their own engine, because they're like, oh, our engine is just too hard to work with, and we don't want to update and spend that money, so we'd rather use someone else's engine, and then we'll just pay them a percentage. Okay, so after years of tweaks through Slipspace Engine, essentially the upgrade version of Blam, the studio is now moving fully to Unreal Engine 5. And the hope is that they change the easy struggle to allow contractors to use their limited time fully on development, opposed to learning a new engine. But it's not all smooth sailing. Unreal Engine 5 has earned a reputation of stunning visuals, but also frustrating performance problems. Now Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney has weighed in and why so many games built with the engine are struggling. It's not our engine. It's not our engine. Okay. Unreal Engine was the first introduced in 2020 with the Lumen in the Land of Nanite tech demo. PlayStation 5 has showed off two headline features: Lumen and the system of dynamic lighting and reflection, and Nanite virtualized geometry system that also allows developers to use a film quality assets in real time. The showcase was also visually stunning and immediately set expectations high. However, when Unreal Engine 5 games started arriving, many players reported the opposite experience. Complaints of stuttering, crashes, poor frame rate, and high hardware demands quickly followed. Titles such as Lords of the Fallen, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, and also Xbox's own Oblivion Remaster were criticized for struggling across platforms, including PC, Xbox Series X, and Series S. That said, right, real quick, I want to go over this, right? So everyone's like, Unreal Engine is the problem, right? And everyone's like, no, it's the graphic cards for this. And Xbox is like, oh, no, it's the optimization because Xbox doesn't know how to optimize. And the Series S is a potato, right? But yet it's all Unreal Engine running on all of these things for those games that are having problems. But yet they blame shift to them. And then these guys blame shift to other things. It's like no one ever takes responsibility. That said, not every Unreal Engine release has flattered. Okay, Hellblade 2, the Epic-owned Fortnite, stand out as examples of what engine can do with properly optimized, providing Unreal Engine 5 has potential to deliver both stunning visuals and stable performance. Tim Sweeney has stepped in to address the criticism directly. This is the game later translated by Clawsome Gamer. He also explained that some of the developers build a high-end hardware in mind first, leaving optimization for lower-spec machines until the end of production. He says, quote, the main cause is the order of development. Many studios build their top-tier hardware first and leave optimization for low-spec testing for the end. Ideal, optimization should begin early before full content build-out. Now, I will say this. The way he's talking there, now, obviously, he doesn't know what each studio is doing. He's just saying that, hey, look, if there is a problem, it's because they didn't optimize it early on. It's late. But really, we talked about this with Laura Fryer and stuff like that. Upper management's the problem, right? A lot of people don't know what they're doing. People fail upwards. And also pre-production, right? I went, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, in the film industry, that's where my background's in, okay? You have to have pre-production to make sure, because if you don't pre-product, you're going to have massive problems in the back end, in the edit and stuff like that. That's in comparison of what he's saying here. If you don't optimize early and throughout the entire process, then you're going to have a massive problem with the starting issues and stuff at the end of the game. If I don't do pre-production, by the time I film the stuff and then get into the edit bay, you're going to have a lot of problems there. And I would assume the same thing with construction, right? You know, what's the term? If you measure 3 times, cut once type of thing. If I don't try to balance things out or make sure everything's leveled, by the time I get to the end of the building, I'm going to be off by like 6 inches, 10 inches. And you'll be like, what the hell happened? Because they didn't do the pre-production. They didn't keep consistent as they were going through the build. So according to Sweeney, Epic is working on solutions to make the process easier. Yeah, we'll just make AI. We're doing two things: strengthening engine support with more automated optimization across devices, and expand developer education so optimize early becomes a standard practice. If needed, our engineers can also step in for a fee. No, I don't know if they're charging, but that's what it sounds like, right? Make the problem, sell a solution. Oh, you guys just don't understand our engines. It's super easy to work with. If you guys pay us a small fee, we'll have one of our technicians come over and teach your whole firm, right? It does feel like optimization has become an afterthought in recent years, with tools like DLSS and FSR, which also use resolution scaling and frame generation, often used to mask performance issues rather than solve them. Good old Band-Aid, right? Good old Band-Aid. So, quote, game complexity is much higher than 10 years ago, so it's hard to solve purely at the engine level. Engine makers and game teams need to collaborate, and we're also bringing Fortnite optimization learning into Unreal Engine, so tiles also can run better on low-spec PCs. Sweeney stressed that the problem can't be fixed by the engine alone. Games are more complex than ever, and developers need to work with the engine, not against it. He says, in my opinion, it's a pretty fair statement from from the article's person said, in my opinion, the pretty fair statement from Tim Sweeney. He's not exactly defending Unreal Engine, but he's effectively calling out developers' workflows and pushing for change in the work culture and how to optimize handle. And that's true. From the heading, it was like he's shifting the blame. But him saying, look, these things can be fixed, but you have to, have upper management, see the stuff basically early on, and you have to work through it as you're making the game. You can't just work the game and then try to fix it later and go, A term that we use in the film industry when something's going on and when you're filming something at that moment is, we'll do it in post. We'll do it in post, which just means I don't feel like doing it now. It's going to take too much time now. We'll worry about it later. And that's what basically Tim Sweeney's saying that developers do, right? There's a problem, but they don't want to deal with it now. So they're like, we'll do it later. We'll do it in optimization. I don't know if they say this, but we'll do it when we optimize it down the road. And that's going to be a problem because they're like, I don't want to deal with it. Then time restraints happen. Then they have to get it out the door. And because they have to get it out the door, that's when problems happen and it crashes and bugs and issues and stuff like that. And this is where you get a broken, buggy, unfinished game at launch for $80. So a developer perceived on Unreal Engine struggles. He says, so what are developers themselves saying? In the case of Beautiful Light, director Eric Rajat argued that the poor performance is usually down to bad practices, not the engine itself. Their comments echo Sweeney's view of the optimization needs to prioritize early in development. Not all developers agree. Developer Ian McClure from Bossa and Rocksteady's Lee Devondel have also both pointed out to Xbox Series S as limiting factors, citing the memory constraints as a major challenge. Digital Foundry has also pushed back slightly on the narrative, noting that many Unreal Engine 5 games can scale surprisingly well in the Series S, but only with extra development time, something not every studio can afford. I would assume that what Digital Foundry is saying, what the other guys are saying, that would go back to, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, that would go back to management, right? Management needs to know what their guys can do and can't do and what the game is doing. And if it wasn't because of management, like management's a very important part of any business. That's why they're managers. That's why they get paid more, right? Because they're there to manage or corral, right? If you were like a cattle farmer, right? The shepherd is technically the manager, okay? And if it's not a person, it's the dog. And the dog is the manager, and he's making sure, or she is making sure, that the cows or the sheep are going where they need them to go and what they are doing. Otherwise, you would have them all over the field, okay? You have to herd them. Managers have to herd the developers, have to herd the staff to make them do what they need to do and make sure that they're doing their job. And a lot of managers don't do this, and when a game fails, managers stay there and developers lose their job, okay? So elsewhere, Warhorse has openly criticized Unreal Engine 5. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or Kingdom Come 2 has standout RPG praise for its visuals, gameplay, and storytelling, but the studio chose CryEngine instead. Now, he argued that Unreal Engine 5 still isn't suited to massive open-world projects, and you hear this all the time with open-world. Open-world games using Unreal Engine, lots of issues with it. And even they claim that CD Projekt Red's Witcher 4 team admitted that the engine wasn't ready for full-scale open-world streaming. Now, that's a little concerning. Okay. Now, obviously, Witcher 4 is going to look amazing. Okay. But it's an open world, and the developers themselves are admitting that the engine is not ready for full-scale open world streaming. Okay. Unreal Engine continues to evolve with the version 5.6 arriving in June of 2025. The update included shared compensation fixes, faster lumen, nanite foliage, and improvements, and more. Still, Sweeney may have a point when he says developers should prioritize lower spec hardware earlier in production. Doing so will naturally benefit consoles like the Series S and the Nintendo Switch 2, where performance headroom is tighter. Remember what Todd Howard said? Now, obviously, he's not using Unreal Engine, but when they came out with Starfield, they were using their new engine, and a lot of people couldn't run the game. And he's like, well, I guess you're going to have to buy a new system, because they didn't optimize it for lower spec machines. They were like, screw it. We're just going to get rid of this, and you're going to have to buy a new machine. Okay. In the case of Switch 2, which is also the fastest selling console launch of all time, it might make sense for developers to target weaker hardware to help ship as many systems as possible. It says it's not a problem that will be solved overnight, but Unreal Engine 5 challenges may never fully disappear. Still, it's encouraging to see Sweeney acknowledge the issue for Epic to show a willingness to step in and support studios, and they're struggling. Well, here's the thing. Once they figure out and fix Unreal Engine 5, there'll be Unreal Engine 6, and there'll be new issues that occur. And Unreal Engine 6, by the time developers are starting to use Unreal Engine 6, they will also have problems. And by that time, when they fix Unreal Engine 6, there'll be Unreal Engine 7. And then they'll be problems again that they didn't have in 5 or 6, but they now are popping up in 7. There will always be problems. There will always be things that you can't fix or do, because there are constantly, technology is always doing this, and the people that are learning are slow, hence why they're using AI to fill in stuff. This is why they're also doing a lot of other back-end type of stuff to make it look like it's doing 60 frames or adding frames and stuff like that, because it's constantly changing too much, exponentially faster, and they can't keep up. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of Tim Sweeney talking about it's not Unreal Engine's fault, it's the developers that can't optimize for the systems that they're on fault? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying here. Sarge says they haven't used their hardware to its ability in 10 years. Eclipse says not made for open world games, is made for story games. Sarge says everyone in the industry knows it's the upper management except upper management. It's true. Yeah. They're like, what's the problem here, guys? Why can't we do stuff? Right? Why aren't you guys doing your job? And they're like, it's your problem. You're not telling us what to do. Jason says gameplay. Gameplay makes the series like Ninja Gaiden relevant. No one ever talks about story for that series. Good morning, Ron. Ron says Concord fully optimized. I had a joke there, but I lost it. Ron with his daily Concord joke. Altered says, so I'm allowed to call my manager a dog, or is that a HR? Well, no, in my analogy, in herding cattle, it's either a shepherd or a dog, and usually the dog is managed by the farmer, right? But you could try to call your manager a dog, but I don't know if that'll go over too well. Z says, 30, are you saying I'm a cow? I mean, are you a developer? If you're a developer, then you would be a cow. Not looking wise. You're just maybe a sheep, right? Because the managers have to make you do what they say. Like, move over here. You're like, oh, okay, I'll do it, my job. I fucking hate my managers, but I'll do it anyway. Let's see what else. Eclipse says, for example, I like South of Midnight's story, but the gameplay was trash. I was bored by the time I beat the game, and I just wanted to get it over with. I stopped when I got to the boss fight. I was like, I'm good. I didn't like the little arenas that they had. It was like puzzle, arena. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, I'm good. What's going on, Stealth? Good morning. What's going on, Argus? Good morning. Roic says most devs have high-end PCs and don't consider machine resources with maybe set a resource budget to make it run smooth. It doesn't matter how good something looks if it doesn't run well. I've always said, Roic, that you're only as good as your lowest spec, right? So it doesn't matter what you do for the Series X. The Series S is the one that you have to make the game for, and then you have to build up from that, okay? So I said before all this handheld talk came out, and they're coming out with their own handheld, which they didn't come out with their own handheld yet, I said Microsoft, if they came out with their own handheld, would also destroy what they're doing right now because that handheld will be less powerful than the Series S or as powerful. So no matter what you do for the Series X, you're being hampered by the handheld because of the across all platform type stuff, right? So you're only as good as your lowest specs. Even then, even in doesn't matter what you are, your team is only as good as your weakest link, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a guy that doesn't understand what he's doing and you have to take the time out of your day to explain to him, he's hindering you. He's the ball and chain holding you back. The brick tied around your foot is the lowest, right? The lowest one that is holding everyone back. And sometimes they just don't get it, and those people have to get let go. But even when they get let go, there's a new link in the chain that's the lowest, lowest on the pole that's holding everyone else back. This is why teams that, in sports terminology, other teams are better than other ones because their lowest person on their on the totem pole is still better than the top person on the other team. And this is why you see teams that win championships after championships after championships in a row, because they don't have any weak links. Their weakest link is still better than the worst, the best player on the other teams. So when you get a game like a Baldur's Gate 3 and it comes out and you're just like, holy Christ, this is an amazing game, right? When you get those types of games that come out, once every 5 years or something like that, that's a special thing. When you look at Expedition 33, you're like, huh, right? They're just gelling. World says, of course you can call your manager that. What's up, dog? That's a way to get around it. That's a good way to get around it. Robert Jones, it's fine for them to target higher specs. Just don't be fucking lie about it. Recommend specs should also see what they tested. That's also true, right? It should run on the lower specs, but it's like stuttering. It's this, and they're like Todd Howard. Yeah, you're just gonna have to buy a new system. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Todd. All right, so we got Helldivers. We got the Unreal Engine talk. We got another one here. Just the other day, we talked about the game that got canceled. Was that yesterday, 2 days ago? The Spider-Man game that got canceled, right? And I'm like, I don't think it's canceled. I think it's put in the back burner. I think it got leaked, and they're like, oh shit, let's play it down, right? I had to think when PlayStation sees something like this happening, where players made a mod itself on PC, by the way, okay, on PC, that they're making a game that they took away from players, and the players make the game themselves. So congratulations to modders out there. They're like, you know what? You don't want to make the fucking thing? I'll make the fucking thing. Okay? So players are loving the new co-op Spider-Man multiplayer mod. Okay? A new co-op Spider-Man multiplayer mod has been released for PC, and players can't get enough. The mod, in which has been released by a mod group, Spider-Man Multiplayer, has turned Marvel Spider-Man 2018 into a fully fledged co-op multiplayer experience. One clip, which has been uploaded on X, formerly Twitter, has generated or garnered over 1.3 million views at the time of writing this. You can watch the short snippet of gameplay below. So let's watch that.
That is
Oh, hell no.
Yo,
can we move around in the background?
Yeah, I'm on stream.
I'll make
I'm on
it.
stream.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dude. No,
Why do I have 150
I
web?
crashed at the wrong time.
They all did their special at the same
This is
time.
so funny.
Alright, guys, try to lure him. Get over here.
Okay, lure him, guys.
they're basically playing Path of Exile right here, right? We were all fighting one boss yesterday, so they're all fighting one boss.
Go ahead and be able to see.
Oh my goodness.
What do we do when we run out of
insane.
stuff, though?
Okay. Oh, you can't reload chat.
Allie, come over here. Come over
I
my
can
side. Don't worry.
hear the noises it's making. It's crazy.
We got Lord.
Got it. Got him. Jump
Alright,
in.
beat him up. Beat his ass up. Beat his ass up. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. Jump his ass. Jump his ass.
Oh shit. Right.
Dump his ass, guys.
Now tell me, we don't need to watch anymore, right? Now tell me why you couldn't have a game like this and get all the bosses, all the different enemies and villains inside these types of games, and constantly, if they want a live service, okay, a live service type of game where every season they can add, because this is what they would do, by the way, right? Not that I'm saying that this is what they should do. This is what they would do. If they made a game like this to be like, oh, this season you can fight Green Goblin. Next season you can fight, they would keep bringing in bosses. By the time a year ended, you would have this awesome game that you're still... But why is it that people have to come up with the cool ideas and the companies are like, yeah, no. Okay? So look at this. What is it? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. I'm assuming 8, maybe with the guy that's maybe. It says currently the mod is only available for those who back the Spider-Man multiplayer Patreon, which is set at $8 plus approximately $9.60 per month. As expected, the mod has been players' outcry for Insomniac to re-greenlight a multiplayer project that was already in the works, codenamed Spider-Man: The Great Web. Unfortunately, though, the title was canceled sometime before March of 2024 and only surfaced in the massive data breach that hacked the studio fast last year. Again, I don't think it's canceled. I don't. I think that Sony, because it leaked, they're like, yeah, it's canceled. I think they're still working on it. I think it's behind the scenes that they're still doing it and if it wasn't, it's back in because they look at this and say, we're losing money. We're leaving money on the table. Okay. Now, here's a big move here. If they do this, if they have Spider-Man: The Great Web, we just talked about Helldivers, right? MLB The Show, Helldivers. Spider-Man: The Great Web should come out as a live service game for Sony, and they should put that shit across all consoles. That way, people that play on Xbox or PC or PlayStation day and date would be awesome for them because they would make a crap ton of money. We were just talking about it in chat. Jason was like, you put Spider-Man on Xbox and people will buy that game. You put Spider-Man: The Great Web on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, day and date, and you will make a crap ton of money, Sony. This is not like maybe. This is a 100%, okay? Says Spider-Man will be great. Great Web will fail without a battle royale, though, right? Tim the Tatman will be like, can we just have this one? Can we just have this battle royale in the Spider-Man game? Right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, they would make a crap ton of money. They have to see this, right? They have to be looking at Helldivers and going, we sold a shit ton of Spider-Man games on PC. We're selling a shit ton of games of Helldivers on Xbox. They got to look at this multiplayer Spider-Man and the Great Web and be like, yeah, we should probably think about this. Okay? It says, as of the time of writing this, Spider-Man multiplayer mod Discord has over 11,000 plus members with over 2,000 members active. As for the multiplayer mod will be made free if public remains to be seen, but fingers crossed for Insomniac has been seeing viral success and decides to go back and cancel onto its canceled project. The original Marvel Spider-Man game launched in 2018, and as of February 2024, has sold over 50 million units according to Insomniac Games. So what do you think of co-op Spider-Man multiplayer game? Will you be giving the mod a go? Me personally, no, but it's cool. I think Spider-Man should be on multiple platforms. I mean, it is on PC now. It sold very well on PC. And it would sell well on Xbox. It would. Just like games that are coming over to other platforms from Xbox are selling well. Because why? If a gamer can't afford a now $700, $800 system, why are you going to hold that against them? They could take that $700 that they would have spent on your system, and they could buy the games and the microtransactions of the games that are on that platform now over on the other platform, and they can spend that money on your games. So, in my opinion, this would be a smart move if it is canceled. They wind it back up, put the Spider-Man, the Great Web back out there and not just come out for PlayStation, but come out for all systems day and date. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you like what I do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. So what do you guys think, chat? Do you think the Great Web is still in the pipeline? Do you think that perhaps they can't? Well, they said they canceled it because it got leaked, by the way, right? So they're like, no. Yeah, we're not working on that anymore. We're doing other things, right? Or do you think that it was canceled and they're like, you know what? Maybe we should go back on this. Maybe we should think about going back and putting this out there. 11,000 people is not small, but it's also not large. But at the same time, you got to go to a Patreon to get this, to get access to it. It's not official. If Sony came out and said, we're putting multiplayer in these types of games and we're releasing for all platforms, holy Christ, they would sell a shit ton. Aku says, I think it was canceled. Let me scroll back up here. Eclipse says, this is why I love PC. Waterbear says, PC. Waterbear says, Spider-Man from the multiverses. Eclipse says, why hasn't Spider-Man 2 co-op? Like, seriously, this is the one thing that also would have made the game 10 times better. Yeah, I think the co-op would have been a good upgrade for Spider-Man 2. Maybe Spider-Man 3. Who knows? Or the Venom game that's coming out or whatever else. Oh, you mean like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game? That's right. Again, we were playing Path of Exile 2 last night. I was like, man, if this was Marvel. Of course, they would ruin it in some way, shape, or form with all the microtransactions, but I would still like it. Roic says it was canceled. Yeah, it was canceled. World says, I actually wanted that game to release. Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted that game to release. Ron says, I would rather have a Madam Web multiplayer game. Yeah, to go along with the television show, season 2. Or, I'm sorry, Madam Web 2, not television show, an actual movie. Altern says, I bet it's coming in Spider-Man 3. Sony will not let live service chance slip from their fingers like this. I mean, it can't be worse than Concord, could it, Altern? It couldn't be worse than Concord. Eclipse says they are stupid. I mean, Last of Us factions could have been awesome. Extraction survival shooter. World says, I don't even want to discuss that piece of garbage they called a movie. Madam Web, I have no interest. I heard Hunter, Craven the Hunter was a terrible movie as well. All right. So we got that done. We got another one. Man, it's only 11 o'clock. We just burrowed through those stories, huh? Let me see. Let me see if there's any. Oh, Fake Wizard's got a video, but he just posted it. I don't want to watch that. He just posted that. Here's a video from Luke Stevens live. It's a 28-minute long video. Starfield's next DLC is still coming, but No Man's Sky keeps looking better. That topic right there, man. Let me tell you. Yesterday we played a little bit of No Man's Sky, right? We played a little bit of No Man's Sky last night before I played Path of Exile 2 with my son. No Man's Sky with my son before I played Path of Exile 2 on stream. What a cool update, right? Starfield, when it came out, I was like, man, this game would be... Obviously, those of you that watch me play it, I really liked Starfield. I thought it was good for the side quests and stuff like that. I thought the building mechanic for the ship was good. I thought a lot of stuff they did good in the game. The main story of Starfield is terrible. The the way you get your powers and go around and collecting those little orbs and the thing spins and you become Starborn. Like, I didn't like that part. I thought it was okay, right? I liked it. I have 200 hours inside of Starfield, but I was like, something just feels off, right? They say space is supposed to feel empty, right? No Man's Sky said the same thing, right? They said, oh, well, it's going to be multiplayer, and when it came out, it wasn't multiplayer. It was you could see the orbs of people. You could be in the same spot, the same place, the same person, never see them. And since that time, those are the dark times in No Man's Sky, okay? Since that time, you could go on missions and ships and fly next to each other and go on stuff, but it still felt something was off about it, right? It still felt something was off. In Starfield, you have 1,000 planets. In No Man's Sky, you had 18 quintillion planets. But it felt stupid because you were on this planet by yourself, even though there's multiplayers, but 18 quintillion planets, and with even if there's 200 million people playing, you're not going to see anybody because it's a vast, empty space, which is what space is, okay? In a single-player game of Starfield, when you're playing Starfield, and there's 1,000 planets, there could have been 10 planets, and you could have had 10 million people playing, you still would barely see anybody in the actual game, okay? Because there's just so many planets, and the planets are just so large, and where you can land and whatnot. And it just felt something was off, and I was like, man, I wish Starfield let you do co-op, so you could have another person on the actual ship and do stuff. Since that time, we've seen other games come out like Jump Ship, which is a co-op, what's that other game with the dwarves? Rock and Stone, Deep Rock Galactic, right? Where you're like dwarves in the mining, right? It's like that, but you're on a ship now, right? There's games like Sea of Thieves and now Jump Ship, which is space. You're on a spaceship and you're working together on one ship. It feels good. It feels great, okay? Then there's the game that just came out, Wildgate, where you're a crew on a ship going against other people on a ship, and it feels cool because you're operating on a ship. No Man's Sky comes out with an update yesterday, and you build your own ships. So yesterday I built my own ship, and me and my son sat down, and we started playing. I made my ship, he made his ship, and it was really cool. You could just get on someone else's ship, and you could start having adventures with them and going places with them. And that one little thing, you could play No Man's Sky together already. You could go on the same planet already. But all of a sudden, man, that one ship where you're both on the ship and you're working together for that ship, you've now just created the fantasy of Millennium Falcon. I'm a smuggler. I'm Chewbacca. He's Han Solo. You've created playing Star Trek where I'm Captain Kirk and he's Spock or Bones, and you're now traveling the galaxy. All of a sudden, the game itself of No Man's Sky went from being vast and empty to vast and fun because you can have a buddy, 2 buddies, 3 buddies with you on that ship, and now you're having adventures together. Now you're making your own adventures in Star Trek from just a simplistic update of, yeah, multiple people can get in a ship. It's amazing. You can start creating your ship and budgeting for your ship, and now your ship grows as you grow, because when you have a city on a planet, you have to keep going back to that planet. But now you have a ship, and that ship, as you travel from planet to planet, you're like, oh, I need resources to put a window on my ship or do different things, and you're customizing your base. But not just by yourself now. Now you're doing it with friends, and now you're building that ship together and having adventures together as you go through. Fantastic update. Fantastic update. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of people building a lot of cool things. You know what? I'm going to look it up right now. Let's see if people already made some cool ships. Was it No Man's Sky new ship builds? You think someone already created? Big ships. How to build a massive ship in No Man's Sky. Let's watch this. Why not?
I was in the middle of making a No Man's Sky new player guide, and
I literally just picked a video out of nowhere, right? So I don't even know this person. The person is where's the name? Morphologix. Logix? I butchered that name. I'm sorry. I apologize. I butchered everyone's name.
out of nowhere, there was a new update, and it gave us this. This is the new Corvette that you can actually build in-game as part of the new Voyager update. And on top of that, you can now walk inside the ship as it's flying and even exit out into space and EVA around. Now, this is absolutely insane for No Man's Sky. This has been something that's been on the wish list.
Okay, this spacewalk thing, I like this. This is cool. My son was freaking out about this, okay? But I was like, what's the point of doing a spacewalk, right? Now, it'd be cool if I took damage and I had to go outside the ship to fix it. Something like that, right? That would be interesting. Like, put something in the game for reasons, right? So you could build a storage inside your actual ship. So you could build a whole section and then put storage, and it looks like storage unit. Like, you can put different types of storage unit on there. And then when you walk up to the storage unit, it actually works as your storage unit, right? There's reasons to put things in your ship.
For a lot of players for a long time, and kind of shows up a number of other games. And this whole customization system, well, it's all...
Bat says, No Man's Sky have more free DLCs for for a $15 or something. Achieve the most comeback than Starfield. All of this stuff is free. You don't have to pay for any of this for No Man's Sky. You buy No Man's Sky, all of these updates, 22, 23 updates that came over the years is 100% free. You don't pay for any of it.
Really reminiscent of Starfield. It looks like No Man's Sky is trying to edge on into the Starfield/Star Citizen territory. You know,
100%. 100%. They're trying to get into that market. And this is why competition is great. People are talking about Call of Duty and Battlefield 6, but Starfield coming out, I was like, man, if the combat in No Man's Sky could be like better than other games like Star Citizen and Starfield, this is the game, man. No Man's Sky is this fantasy game out there. It's not a game like Star Citizen where you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get your ships and stuff like that. You literally could jump in this and travel all these galaxies and do all these things in a much easier format right here. And you don't need a high-end PC. Okay, you can play this on the VR. You can play this on PlayStation, and you can play this on Nintendo. Like, it's crazy. It's everywhere.
You know what? I think they're doing a pretty good job. So let me show you guys a little bit of what's cool about this update. I'm not going to go too much into the expedition. I haven't had time for it yet, but I wanted to get this out to you guys because it is absolutely an update worth checking out. So here's how it all works. If you load up into No Man's Sky right now, you can actually start building your own.
This took a while to find out where you had to go. I actually had to go watch a video of someone showing me where to go because I couldn't find how to build a ship.
Corvette, and all it takes is for you to go to a space station and find these little pads.
Yeah, little pads off to the side.
These 4 pads on the side of the hangar, which will take.
So Roic, the way it works, Roic's asking, so do you have to have the resources to build your ship, or does it let you pick from any of the pieces? So this is what happens. I loaded up a game where I have like 120 hours, so I have a crap ton of resources. I have a crap ton of money. Okay, so when I got into the game, you can go to the, actually, he's going to show it here for a second.
You to a new larger section of the space station's interior. This is the Corvette workshop, and here you can start purchasing the modules that you need to build a basic Corvette. Now the game is going to give you.
Okay, so it gives you a base of all the stuff. Okay, so obviously if I need 3 landing gears, I have to purchase 3 landing gears. So a landing gear is $800,000. So you're going to need a lot of money to get 3 landing gears. So a lot of people don't have a lot of money. Right, this guy's got $1 billion over here, so he's good. He can build whatever he wants. So once you buy the modules, you have to have the resources also to make the stuff that you want to put in the thing. So if you want to put a window, you have to have glass and stuff to make into the actual thing on the ship. So if you don't have the stuff now, you can then fly down, land on the planet, grab the resources you need, and then you can start adding the stuff to your ship.
A bunch of basic pieces that are kind of expensive, but if you've been playing for a while, you're going to probably have the cash built up, and you're going to buy a bunch of the basic pieces. So like landing gear, cockpits, the body of the craft. If you've played Starfield, you know exactly what this system is like. Once you've got your pieces, you just throw them down onto the floor's workshop.
It helps you.
And starting with the landing gear, of course, and then
I don't know if you noticed, like, okay, it highlights the thing for you to know, okay, you have to start with the landing gear. You got to start with the landing gear, and then you can build the body on top of that, and then you get to build a cot. It like runs you through what you need to do.
You just throw them down onto the floor's workshop, starting with the landing gear, of course, and then placing everything on top of that. Again, starting off, you're only going to have some really basic stuff, and as far as I can tell, the way the interior works is more automated, so you connect these modules, again, like Starfield, and it will automatically generate an interior. But that interior can be...
See right there? He went to go click
Starfield,
the window.
and it will automatically
it doesn't show
generate an interior.
Oh, right there. So see, you have to have 30 silver and 1 glass to put that on your actual thing.
But that interior can be customized. We'll go into that in a second. Now, I actually think that they did this better than Starfield, and the reason is because you can actually overlap a lot of these parts and start to create some really interesting
you can overlap the stuff and make some really cool things.
Shapes out of things that seem really basic at first. For example, here I had some nice aesthetic pieces that I wanted to put on the top of the ship, but it didn't really go with the length, so I took 2 starting pieces and I overlapped them to create what looks like a single long piece on the top. You can see how that works there, and it looks so...
That's good. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, good. And I just know that this community is going to come up with some incredible combinations with all this overlapping going on. I've seen the bases people put together. This is going to unlock a whole nother...
This alone, just building ships. People are going to go to... Because you can go to creative mode and just build ships if you want to just make ships and post them online or whatnot. This is going to be some good stuff, man. This system is much better than the Starfield system. And Starfield's shipbuilding system I thought was pretty cool.
Section of just creative time sink. I know it's gonna do that for me. Oh boy, I got so...
Oh, and then you can paint. I'm sure he'll go over it. You can paint every little section of this thing.
Much to do right now, and now this comes out. Now you might be curious about how the modules work for this. Basically, you can take starship modules from any other small ship that we've already had in the game and attach it to this. Although the things that you attach to this ship, just like it does in Starfield, will affect the ship's mass and maneuver.
Yes. So when you add stuff and then you get in your ship, when you turn, my ship right now turns like a goddamn boat. It's like it's huge.
Ability and range, so if you add too much stuff, it'll get too heavy and won't be as good as you might have hoped. So you're gonna have to play with the balance of the ship and with what modules you attach. Now, some of the actual aesthetic modules, like the engine components or the reactors, actually do have stats attached to them, and so you're gonna want to search out some of the more rare components in the universe and attach them to the...
This has opened up the game. It's so much better. You'll never... Here's the downside. I don't want to say you'll never use it, but if you're a person that's been playing No Man's Sky for the last 7 years, and you had your small ship, and you got your other ships, and you're looking for ships, and you're collecting ships, and you have all these live ships, and all these other things, you're never going to use those ships again. You're never going to use your starfighter ship, because this is it now. Like, this is your ship. And you can constantly change this ship. You can make it as big or as small as you want. You can customize it. You can make a small ship. You don't need to make these giant frigates if you don't want to. And that, to me, it's like, well, why do I need that now? Can I dock my ship in this ship? You know what I mean? Like, do I need a frigate? Do I ever need to go on a frigate anymore? I feel like I understand why they did this now and not put it in early, because all the updates they did before with the frigates and the different ships and the living ships and all this other stuff, this makes all of that obsolete now. Makes it all obsolete now.
Now, how do you find these? Well, it does tell you pretty much right away after you build your first Corvette that you need to go and find planets that have salvageable scrap on them. They're going to be contained in these containers that you break open and find on surfaces, and each one's going to give you a random component that's rarer than what you find in the space stations. But luckily, it's not all.
Here's the thing, though, Worlds. Like, if you're a person that you're like, it's not for me, you don't have to invest all the time that you want now. Let's say someone else, for instance, let's say you want to play for a couple of hours and I'm on, and you want to hop on my ship. You're a crew member now on someone else's ship. You don't have to make a ship. You don't have to do anything. You can literally just be a crew member on someone else's ship and go on adventures with them.
all RNG. Once you get enough pieces, especially pieces of value, so say like reactors or shield components, you can actually go to one of the space stations and try to barter for things that you want. So say if you want 2 engine pods of the same type.
See, that's cool. I didn't even know all this was in the game because we haven't done any of this, right? So you could go find scavenge stuff, bring it back, and then modify to get other pieces for your ship. That way your ship's even more customizable and different than someone else's ship.
The same style, you can go to barter for it by throwing some things of kind of equal value. It seems to kind of be give and take. I'm not sure exactly what the value system on this is. Maybe it's just random and per station. I'm not sure. I wish there was a little bit more information about the trading system in game to allow me to figure this out a little bit better. This is how much I've figured out so far. The other thing they're going to probably need to do, and this is probably just a quality of life fix they're going to have to update, is that you can't break down the groups of components from the trade menu. So if you want to barter for something, it's automatically going to take whatever's been grouped together. So say you've got...
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you can't take this thing and barter with something else. It's like it's in a predetermined thing that you can barter for.
3 of the same component, it's going to trade that in, and maybe you don't want to do that. So you have to separate them first in your inventory and then trade them as single pieces or groups depending on how much you want to put together. There's also a bug right now with this update, or maybe it's just an oversight in the game design, but sometimes when you're in this build menu, you will go into free place mode, but there's no option to go out of it within the starship build menu. And this frustratingly will stop you from being able to modify your ship.
That looks cool. I gotta go back
and
build
will
my
make
ship.
it so that if you delete anything, you won't be able to put it back. So what you need to do is you need to exit out, go inside of your ship, and then hit Z to open the build menu, and then switch from free placement mode to snapping mode, and then go back to the starship building menu or the Corvette building kiosk, and it should have fixed it for you. If it doesn't work the first time, try it a second time. It took me quite a bit to figure this out. Like I said, I think this is probably a bug, but if you're struggling with this, now you guys know how to work around it. All right, now I did say I was going to tell you guys about what you can do.
There's also a lot of bugs in this game. So as you're flying into a planet, all of a sudden you like hit something and the fucking screen starts to go upside down and whatnot. It fixes itself. But there's a lot of little glitches that are going on right now that they have to fix.
In the interior. And just like you can with your bases, with your freighter, you can design the interior of your new Corvette. And on top of that, there are some specialized modules that you can actually place that each have a special ability.
So they got to fix this. You see how the carpet's underneath the metal? They got to fix that stuff.
For example, you can place a mission module, which will allow you to take missions from your Corvette.
Yeah, and this is the point I've always talked about in video games. If you're going to put something in a video game, like if I go to a town and there's a vendor, right? Or I'm sorry, there's no vendor. There's a store you walk into, but there's nothing you can do in the store. Or you go to here and you can't do anything in the store, right? Why build a town if I can't walk into the town and do the town, right? Take the menu system and put it into the town, basically. So now if you want to take missions, instead of going to the space station and finding missions, you can build a mission thing inside your thing. You can build a storage thing. When you walk up to the storage, that's storage. Okay, you could walk up here and do certain things. Give a reason to why am I going to build this stuff in my ship, right? If I need a med pod, right, that's where I get my medic supplies from. That's where I can do the refiner from.
Corvette. And there are other items like a living wall to give you more oxygen, some habs, which I believe are just aesthetic at the moment, and storage pods to...
See what he just said there? So the sleeping quarters is aesthetic right now. But it'd be cool if I could click on it and then it actually did something. Like if I sleep, then I get a rest bonus and maybe I run better for 15 minutes or something like that.
To connect you with your main base storage so that you can access a wide variety of things you may have accumulated over the years. And as you expand your ship out, I imagine you just keep adding more of these cargo pods. Now, I didn't get enough time to go over all the different design options, but the specific interior I'm using...
Can you tweet the mining rates in this game? What do you mean the mining rates? Like you're charging? Like I'll get the supplies for you? It's actually pretty cool that you could actually get supplies for people and bring them to people. Go on missions and stuff like that.
Right now is only one, I think, of at least 4 or 5, and they're probably going to add more. I mean, there's such...
If they do fully voiced acting in this game, Titan, that would bring it to the next level.
an open range of what they can do with this for new DLC.
Come on, tell me that's not.
I mean, there's such
Look at that. Tell me this is not out of the Millennium Falcon. Come on.
an open range of what they can do with this for new DLC content. I'm sure people are going to be really excited to get it. This personally has been maybe my like number one thing that I've wanted in No Man's Sky, the ability to go inside of your ship, and on top of that, to go inside of your ship with your friends. Now, you might be curious with all this, whether or not your friends can co-pilot with you or manage a weapon. Unfortunately, that's not in this update. And
What? So they could be on the ship, but you can't fly the ship?
I don't know if this is part of the plan for the future, but I certainly hope it is, because I've been wanting to see multi-crew gameplay forever, and if they can pull that off, man, Star Citizen, you better get your stuff together, because No Man's Sky is kind of coming for your game a little bit. Another thing you might be curious about is whether or not you can dock your Corvette with your freighter, and the answer to that is yes, but it's a sort of, I don't know, development workaround maybe. It doesn't seem quite as cool as some of the other stuff they've added into this patch, and I think they probably need to go back and maybe add larger docking bays to these freighters in the future. I mean, there's just so much space on these ships that it seems strange for you to just basically float out into space and then
they
have to teleport into your freighter. But, you know, credit where credit's due, this update adds so much to the game that I really can't fault them for not having, you know, these little, you know, immersive details added on.
They probably looked at it and said, all right, let's just get this out. How many people own freighters? How many people use their freighters? They're like, forget about it. Just dock it up on top. We'll put it on the next patch.
This is something they can add in future updates, and with this coming out, I'm sure they're going to get a lot more people excited to come back for it. Another thing I've not quite figured out yet is what the EVA system is for. Now, we can
You get your stuff back all turn. Like if you buy it and then sell it, I think you get it back for exactly what you spent. Don't quote me on that though.
EVA now. It means we can go outside our ship and jetpack around, but if there's going to be any gameplay associated with this, I'm not sure. Maybe
this is my problem. I can do spacewalk, but why? Why am I going outside of space? Are there ships that we can find floating in space and you can't dock with them, but you can fly out of your ship to get to the other spaceship and then scavenge other spaceships or other things that are out in space? If that's the case, fantastic. If it's just me going outside my spaceship, why? It's cool for like the first 30 seconds, and then it's just like, well, it's pointless.
Maybe we can encounter abandoned Corvettes in the future and go board them, or board other friends.
Yeah, there you go. Let me rewind here.
We can encounter abandoned Corvettes in the future and go board them, or board other friends' ships or enemy ships. You know, there's a lot of possibilities with this that I'm seeing that have been done in other games like Star Citizen and Starfield that they can expand into. Again, there's so much potential with where they can go with this. Not to mention that it's already realizing so much potential that I've always wanted them to realize. Like, I don't want to, you know, undercut what they've achieved here. This is a really cool update, and I'm super excited to pop back in right now and keep exploring what's on offer. So what do you guys think? Is this going to get you guys back into No Man's Sky? If you guys don't know, I'm putting together a No Man's Sky new player guide.
So there you go. Never watched this person before. We'll put their video in the description down below. Let me fix that right now for you guys. If you want to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on their channel. This is Morph Logics. It's crazy. He has 300,000 people that subscribe to him. Never heard of him. There you go. Link in the description down below. Makes you wonder. Nobody knows about me. Titan says, flow chart of ideas and ideas in the making. Yeah. Be interested to see what happens. I should be able to fly my friend's ship. You know what I mean? Like if he doesn't want to fly, be like, yeah, fly or go over there. You can do autopilot and stuff. You can still walk around. You can still do stuff while you're in the ship going around. It's sort of like Sea of Thieves a little bit, right? Like Sea of Thieves, I can steer the ship if I want to, or I can have the other guy steer the ship. It's my ship, but you can steer it. And we're all hanging out on the ship, and you're cooking, he's fishing, whatever. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting if someone could get into the gunner position. It would be interesting if someone else could drive the ship, or you're maintaining something. It'd be interesting if stuff like that happens. Let me see if people are buying. Let me see. Not buying. That's from a year ago, 20 hours. Huge customizable ships. Huge ships. How to unlock, build your ship. Custom ships. How to start building your ship. Sentinel ships. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. My God. 28 minutes ago, No Man's Sky, how to build the perfect Corvette and get best ship parts in Voyager update. There's already a bunch of people making videos. A bunch of people. Yeah, it looks cool. All right. What did you send me, Travis, earlier? You sent me a thing about Nickelodeon or whatever. Nicktoons and Dice of Destiny. What is this?
I'm Leonardo.
Unstoppable! Take that! Incoming!
This would be great if my kid was still super young. I don't think he would be interested in this at all.
Nope.
Steady now.
This is just a single player game. This is like a Diablo solo player. Up to 4 players. Oh, here's another one. Nicktoons. Okay, so let me see something. I was going to say, I hope they have a crap ton of Nicktoon characters, because it'd be stupid if they just had the one character. What's happening here? Okay. Let's...
In a faraway land of magic and mystery, a great evil would emerge. However, a brave and wise and powerful magic power, totally radical team of adventurers the land had ever seen. They alone would be able to... Imagination! Go big, go burn!
Here's the thing. So they have 8 characters. My problem with this is they should have so many characters from Nickelodeon in that thing, right? Not just 8 to 10. Waterbear says, or go and take other ships, like in Starfield. Yeah, that would be awesome if you could do that as well. We got into someone's random ship yesterday. He was at the station.
I'm Leonardo.
I walked into his ship. Let me see what else is going on here. Anything happening on Twitter? There's a lot of stories, but I kind of want to save some for this evening when we do GXG with Sarge. Movie and television idea theft lawsuits are on the rise. Very few prevail in court. Interesting. Oh, that's another thing. I mean, it's a $39.99 right now, and they said it's also support like with adding stuff. I would hope, I was going to say something. I hope it's not a full price game of like $60, $70, because that would not sell. I still think a little $40 is a little too much for that game. I think they kind of price themselves out of it, you know? This guy said, I used my 967 hours in Borderlands to predict Borderlands 4 most busted builds. Okay. Let's read it. Let's read it. It says, I used my 900... Excuse me one second. Yeah, that's probably a better price. Like $19.99, $25, maybe $30, maybe $30. All right, so I used my 967 hours in Borderlands to predict Borderlands 4's most busted builds. Okay, let's hear them out. So I've played a lot of Borderlands over the years. Borderlands 2 is one of my most played games of all time. While Borderlands 3's story is naff, it's also gameplay is oh so good. Naturally, I feel like I've got to put all these hours spent to good use, and there's no better way to do that than attempt to predict Borderlands 4 meta. Okay. Since we have access to all 4 Vault Hunters, full skill trees, and now a bit of about the gear, will all have us on Borderlands 4 is already possible to cook up builds and try to gauge the meta. Of course, there's a chance that details change before the launch, and the skills aren't as strong as in action as they are on paper. But being confidently incorrect is part of the fun of this little experiment. Plus, we've only seen fractions of the endgame loot on offer, and the gear is traditionally just as built defying as the skills you pick. So when it comes to the meta in Borderlands game, which doesn't actually matter, and always urge you to play whatever you like or looks cool, or even comes down to bossing and mobbing. In other words, how quickly can you rip through a boss health bar and wipe the trash mobs? So right out the bat, I'll make some bold predictions. Vex will be the strongest Vault Hunter. Amon will be the weakest Vault Hunter, but also will have a broken shotgun melee build. Harlow will be a sleeper hit, starting weak and growing a power of massively as max level / endgame. There will also be Rafa and Arc Knives Sickos will also die on the hill, and even supplemental. Rafa's Overdrive is movement speed build that Speedrun's Dream will also undoubtedly break something. Okay. In Borderlands 4, I think there's one character that does both mobbing and bossing better than anyone, Vex. Taking a look at the Siren's skill tree, you can also quite quickly realize that you can also build around kinetic damage, which also adds bonus of causing bleed and high crit and active kill skills without needing to, kill anyone. Meaning you can easily activate them in boss fights, unlock other characters, or even other Vex builds. Using a witchy trigger finger, augment a vibe, check capstone, you can quickly be able to ramp up the gun damage while also reloading your weapon. Plus, Vex is also a strong lifesteal options, also in the tree, leeching attunement as essentially leech, which also can be paired with blood, is a power for even more bonus kinetic damage based on the lifesteal. While I think Vex build will also undoubtedly be her strongest and easiest build to use, there's also another one we'll keep an eye on. The fourth is Steel / Dead Ringer build. This is primarily because of the Heirloom Capstone, which is also grants Spectras of copy of Vex-equipped gun. Any Zane mains from Borderlands 3 will immediately know what this means, but it also opens up the door for some wacky builds and abuse-specific weapons. As of the case of the Sandhawk, or Arcane last time, the tree also has some checks in place that also look like they also restrain you, and more Zane's double agent tree is a boom or bust. Another contender for the throne is Harlow, thanks for the creative burst of Chroma Accelerator and Seas of the Day / 0 point trees. Personally, I'm really looking forward to trying to full ice crit Ricochet build using the Vengeance tree and Jacob's weapon. This will also key skills and Strange Attractor augmented, Ripple Effect, and heaps of ice / freeze perks capped off with a triple point perk. You'll be able to put a whole hordes of status and wipe them out with the ice cold ricochets, further boost entangled damage share. The two downsides to this build are that the bosses can't be put in stasis. They can also still damage them and become entangled, so it also could still hold its own, and it only really comes together in later levels. The Creative Burst Chrome Accelerator build likely have an issue, specializing in radiation damage and gun damage, and the skills of Nutrient Captures augmented, Enriched Poison Sun, Glow Up, or Chain Reactor, as well as some perks from the Cosmic Brilliance. Okay, you should also be able to stack quite a bit of receipt damage of multipliers, but even better than that, you should also work on bosses that trash mobs alike. You can imagine being incredibly lethal, Vladoff or Jacob's weapons, or both using the new licensed part system. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much more here. So Vex, S-Class, Harlow's A-Class, Amon will be B class, and Harlow Cosmic Brilliance will be C class. Be interested to see. I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna mark this this article. You know what? I'm gonna take this and put it in our description down below. That way, when we come back to this, we can see if he was right or wrong. Be interesting to see. What that game comes out? What, next week? Next week or 2 weeks? In 2 weeks it comes out, I think. Probably regret this, but sending a new video from Podcast Now. What's Podcast Now? Is that cooler than we thought? We just thought anew of the Ghost of Yote Wolf. I don't care about that. Eight-bit Duo Pro 3 Bluetooth controller and Switch/Switch 2 PC mobile compatible. $62 on Amazon. Well, I guess I could show this to you guys. If you guys are looking for some sort of controller that you want to use for your mobile devices and whatnot, you have swappable magnetic pieces that you can go in and out. That's pretty cool. It's got a charging dock. So it's a Switch 2 controller that you can swap out. And it's a Bluetooth controller, so I'm sure you can use it for other things as well, not just the Switch. I got a roadmap of ESO roadmap. Man, they keep supporting this game. You're never getting Elder Scrolls 6. Satisfactory is on sale right now. What else we got going on here? Community update. Battlefield 6 community update. Battlefield Labs testing. Hello, everyone. What does this say? Battlefield Labs is returning as we resume testing on the latest updates and content. We're focused on refining and polishing the game for launch using amazing feedback received during open beta. This includes new maps, the first look at the server browser. We look forward to hearing your thoughts as well as the feedback from people in the test and the content to continue to build Battlefield together leading up to October 10th for launch. So they're putting a server browser in. Hey, look at that. Battlefield Labs resumes. The end of the open beta now provides us with the opportunity to return to Battlefield Labs play session. This time around, these sessions may occur at more of a varied intervals. It's also targeting finalizing the launch balance and features of Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 Labs is intended to experimental environment where the latest changes and works in progress. Ideas are tested with players in close and private spaces. The content played here will often be at various stages of production, including items in the alpha state, which may result in less polished and stable builds during gameplay. Hopefully, it doesn't happen with the gold launch. This setup allows us to balance and remake adjustments much faster as we shape the future of the game with you, and work your community to shape up the future of the game. Before we dive into some more areas of we'll be focusing on, if you're interested in shaping up the future of Battlefield, you can sign up here. Okay. So Portal and server browser. Okay, so they have server browsers in Portal, but not in the main thing. Some of the most frequent questions from the community have been about the server browser availability and functionality of it. This is an upcoming Battlefield Labs play session. We'll be able to early implementations of the Portal functionality within the community tab. At the stage, our main goal is to observe how it works in practice. We initially use the feedback focusing accessibility of UI clarity. As with the custom search function seen within the recent Battlefield 6 open beta, these features should be treated as a work in progress, and they are also not final. For now, the scope of the server browser is intentionally limited so that we can focus on stability of the core usability. Battlefield Labs is also a vital part of the collaboration with the community, helping to shape the valid of these systems together. These tests will also be limited to functionality and the use cases, allowing us to focus on feedback to ensure stability before expanding further if necessary. Players will also see only a subset of functionalities in the community experience. Portal custom community experiences building will not be available in the test. Upcoming Battlefield Lab test play sessions will also focus primarily on hosting, where they also concentrate on these easy of setting up players' own servers via predefined short codes, alternating descriptions, selecting tags, and joining these experiences. We're also aiming to validate these flow of ensure scalability and accessibility of features. Hosting and customizing players can also use experience liberal library to find conquest experiences using provided short code. Enter the short code into the search field and access the mode and choose to play. Okay, joining the experience. Combat arms testing. Before the open beta, Battlefield Labs play session also have focused on fundamentals of gameplay such as movement, gunplay, destruction, alongside ensuring server stability and effectiveness of the open beta and beyond. Open beta has highlighted feedback around needed to ensure balancing occurs across different size environments, and we are now entering a phase of Battlefield Labs where it's going to become one of the primary focuses, and we continue to collaborate and work on future optimizations for the game. Improvements to the weapon, large-scale, vehicular combat gadgets balancing, and the more we set to take place within Battlefield Labs. New maps such as Operation Firestorm and Mirka Valley are designed for combined arms combat, and vehicles take center stage, featuring a diverse range of vehicles from quad bikes to tanks to aircrafts. We aim to validate gameplay balance on these locations and compare against previous tested maps. We'll also be using Battlefield Labs to determine the official setting for the hardcore mode, and also look forward to working with players to define it. I do like a good hardcore mode, but we'll see. I'm not getting the game when it comes out, so we'll see. It's Merrick Valley. What's next? Battlefield Labs will continue to be an essential space for testing new features and balance changes, and we continue the journey. Your feedback during the session is invaluable, and we also help guide our final and post-launch adjustments. We'll share more about this in the next Battlefield Labs and our progress in the future updates. So there you go. Jargon. Travis says, without you, it would be funny if they said that. Yeah. I fixed it. A lot of testing in this 2026 game. Yeah. Imagine if the game was actually supposed to come out in 2026 and they still had, 6 months instead of 2 months to work on the game? But they still have 6 months, you know what I mean? Because when the game comes out, and again, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying in the past games, every game that came out since Battlefield 3, 4, Hardline, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 2042, every single one came out lackluster, broke, buggy, unfinished, and fixed over 12 to 18 months. Every single one. To say that this one's going to come out and it's going to be flawless, my money's not on that. My money's not on that. True Helldivers don't ask the same. So they're making Helldivers replica helmets. Is that being sold through IGN, or is that being sold? Nope. $60. What? 1/4 scale, $60. I need to see this next to something, because how small is that? I feel like it's like this big. I feel like it's this big. I feel like it needs to be like this big. Like the Lego busts, you know what I'm talking about? Like if it's not the size, like I feel like it's got to be this size, you know, for the Ghost, for the helmet. Otherwise, that's a lot. I already paid $15 for this. $60 for a helmet. That's not a helmet that my kid could wear, for God's sakes. Eclipse says, nah, the combat looks very bad in that game. I know Silent Hill, but also, come on now. You can make it better. My favorite game got a trailer. Which one's that? If anyone's looking to expand their SSD card for their Xbox, it looks like Seagate expansion card SSD for Xbox is now back to Black Friday price for Labor Day. So it looks like you can get, usually priced at $160 so far. There's $30 savings. You can only need to pay $130 for a limited time. So if anyone's looking for a expansion card, there you go. Black Friday price for Labor Day. Year 2 roadmap trailer. All right, let's watch that. No, it's not 2 terabytes. It's I think that's 1 terabyte. Hold on, let me look. 1 terabyte. It's 1 terabyte. Oh, there we go. I got a 4 terabyte for my PC for the price of one of those. Well, the problem is if you get, because we got a really cheap hard drive for my son originally. We got that one on super sale. We got it for like $60 or something like that. But we got one that was like a 3 gigabyte SSD to plug into the his Xbox. But the problem is that you can't play games off of it. Okay, you can store them on there, but if you have to play it super fast though when you download them. So like he has a whole bunch of games on there. Instead of like downloading them, it takes super long. It just transfers from that thing, and within I want to say like 3 minutes, it goes from that hard drive to his Xbox, and he can play the game. So if he's done playing certain games, he moves them to the hard drive. But then we got him the internal one that you can plug in, and that's much better because you can play off the actual drive itself. All right, this is Space Marines.
Greetings, Space Marines. You've slain the enemies of humanity for nearly a year. You've bolstered the ranks of the Imperium by the millions, and you brought us victory time and time again. Now the Emperor calls upon you once again for a new year of Space Marine 2 content.
So year 2 finally means that year 1 is done, right? So now when Space Marines goes on sale and I have time to play it, I will purchase the game.
Starting next week with patch 10, all the way to patch 15 next year, here's a taste of the free content.
Okay. Hey, this is not a live service game, right? This is not a live service game, right, Eclipse? Right. It's crazy. Like, it's so ridiculous. Anyway, I said that I wouldn't buy this game until after the first year because I was waiting for all the game modes and stuff to come in. It looks like all the game modes are in there now. So now I just need to wait for a probably Black Friday sale. Me and Sarge will play this sometime later this year or early next year. Okay, we got plenty of games to play. Okay. So here it says patch 10 on September 4th. You got a new PvE mission. One. New PvP mode, okay, which is called Onslaught. You got a new PvP arena. New PvE mode called Stratagems, okay. Stratagems. Is that sort of like Helldivers? Okay. You got three new weapons. You got major enemy chaos spawn, and you got a chaos armor pack. Okay. That is free. Then obviously you have the Black Templars champion pack, and then you have Imperial Fist cosmic pack, which I'm assuming that this lower section is paid stuff. Okay. Patch 11, which is quarter 4, is a new PvE mission. 1. New mission pickups, stratagems, new rewards, and battlefield conditions. Okay. Then for patch 12, which I'm assuming is next year, right? So patch 10, right? Patch 10 and 11. So they're still not out yet. So I can't buy it yet. I can't do it. I can't buy this game until quarter 4 of this year when they finally put the new PvE mission and the new mission pickups and stratagem, new rewards and stuff. Because these two things are part of the first year. Year 2 battle plan, which is this, quarter 1, patch 13, 14, and 15. Okay. Then that's year 2. Okay. So then in patch 12, you have new PvE mission, Tech Marine class, Tech Marine weapon, Battle Barrage expansion, and more stratagems, new battlefield conditions. Patch 13, quarter 1, new PvE mission, 1. New enemy and progression update. Patch 14, you got 2 new PvP arenas. PvP stratagems and stratagems new rewards is patch 14. And then patch 15, new siege map, stratagems, and new reward. Okay. So is all this year 2? I guess all this is year 2. So this is part of year 2. Okay.
We have in store for you new operations, a new PvP game mode with a playable hell route, 3 PvP arenas, gameplay modifiers, and much more. Like the addition of new enemies and bosses for you to take down, the Chaos Spawn and the Mutalith Vortex Beast. Like several new weapons with which to dispose of them in the Emperor's name, Pyre Blaster, Pyre Cannon, Power Axe, Xenophase Blade, Combi Melter, and others. Brought to you by our next playable class, the Tech Marine.
I have a question. You bought this last year, and yet now the new character's coming in, right? I understand it's free, but the whole game is not complete. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? See, I think the game is fantastic. I do. I think the game is fantastic. I didn't like the business model. Right? Make a game, sell a game. You could have taken all this stuff, and let's say the game wasn't ready. It wasn't ready. And then you could have released Space Marines 2 this year with all this stuff that you put in over the last year.
And to further enhance your looks, next week will mark the release of our Season Pass 2, which will add 9 new cosmetic DLC.
Now I have a question because I don't know. Can you earn these DLC cosmetics in-game, or do you have to purchase these?
Packed with
Travis says, I mean, you are crazy because no game is complete at launch. That's multi-layered. There are games complete at launch. What 100% there are. See, you look at it as, well, this is just the way it is. So this is how it is. Nope, they're not free. Right? I don't look at stuff like that. If someone comes out in the beginning and says, hey, this is not a live service game, and then proceeds to make it a live service game, I'm a little confused. They've said that this is not a live service game, and then proceeded to make it a live service game. So what's the definition of live service? Why? Because it doesn't have a battle pass?
with armor pieces, heraldry decals, and weapon skins. Stay tuned to our social media channels and see you all very, very soon.
I said, I mean, it looks fantastic, but I can't buy the game until it's complete. Now, if year one is now complete, and I can pick it up for half the price that it was when it came out, cool. I can't think of a multiplayer game that the last 5 years that is complete at launch. Boulder Gate 3? Titan says, if you support it, it will not change. That's exactly right. Hence why I'm not supporting it. I don't like the business model. If you tell me it's not a live service game and then proceed to make it a live service game. Roic says this game is more like a full-priced early access game. Travis says if you do, you get a good game for shooting the shit with Sarge. I can also wait and also get a really good game for more stuff in the game for less money and still, down the road, have a good game to play with Sarge. Z says, I'm loving the full Witcher 3 right now. Space Marines will be awesome when it's complete in 2 years. Roic says it needs another 2 years to cook. Yeah, it's crazy. Jason says, no, 30. Pay full price for less. Like, am I crazy? Don't get me wrong, right? Like, I'm playing Grounded 2 right now, okay? I played Grounded 2 right now, and I know it's an early access game from the start. They said it. It's a preview program, early access, right? And I wouldn't pay $30 for that because it's on Game Pass. If I was on another platform, I'd be like, I'll wait because they're asking for $30 for a half-assed game right now. Right? But they said that. We know that from the start. Right? Then there's other games that don't tell you. They're like, no, not a live service game. And then it comes out and it's a live service game. Travis says 4 years of support is what they promised. Okay, for a non-live service game, 4 years support. Roadkill says you can say you're not supporting them, and when you're probably support other companies that have also done a lot worse. Give me a thing, Roadkill, and I will tell you what I'm playing. Right? Early access games, I'll support because they tell me off the bat. Dragon Wilds, okay, told me it was early access, paid $20, right? Was another game that we played that was early access, right? There's a difference from a company saying early access and a company saying the game is out. You do understand the difference, right? When someone says preview, early access, beta, right? Path of Exile 2 is a free-to-play game, right? Early access, free-to-play game, and you paid for the microtransactions, Kraken. What game have I purchased that isn't complete, that wasn't early access or beta stated preview? Robert Jones says, Eye of the Beholder. It's probably done in years, and maybe just maybe the next two are from microtransactions. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not the one that said that Space Marines 2 is not a live service game. And yet, slowly drip feed content into the game. for free. Again, I have no problem with Space Marines 2, the game. I have a problem with the business model. Travis says 30. So weird argument. I know a guy who recently said, okay, the game was 8-hour campaign, 6 PvE missions in 2010. In 2010s, we have called the perfect yet. In 2025, that's not acceptable. So weird argument. Said the game has 8-hour campaign and 6 PvE missions. In 2010, we've called that a perfect. Yet 2025, well, I don't know if in 2010 I would call it perfect. If they were still, because I used to call. I've been on record in Destiny in 2014, 2015 when we did GXG, and they just took the content. I've been upfront about this from the very beginning when they did the Dark Below and the House of Wolves expansion. And people said that it was locked out of the game. And they said, no, it's separate content. I said, no, it's in the game, but they locked you out. They cut off content and then put it as DLC so they could sell it later. Okay? It's not a complete game. That's a live service game, but they still cut out the actual content, and people defended it and said, no, it wasn't in this game. And we're like, yeah, you could literally drop into the sections in the main game in Destiny 1 where the expansion was. I mean, every reviewer says it's not a live service, like SkillUp. Every time he praises the game, it's not a live service game, and that's a breath of fresh air. But it is a live service game. Z says they've already announced new stuff for Yote next year. The game's not even out yet. All I'm saying is, if you're going to make a live service game and you're going to say that the game is incomplete, put that marker up there. Put the early access. Put the beta. Put the alpha, right? Put a preview. Whatever you're doing, okay? If that makes it easier to digest, sure. It's also a cheaper price, right? People are coming out with full-fledged $70 games, and the game's not complete. See, the problem, right, Z, they're trying to build engagement for the titles. That's it, right? So if Space Marines 2 was complete, right, this is what would happen. Space Marines 2 was complete. People bought it last year, played it. 1 month later, 90% of the population's gone, right? 90% of the population would be gone. You would own that game. You bought that game. But they were like, no, let's sprinkle them along. Right? Instead of just playing the game, putting it down, then coming back when expansions happen, and then sell the expansions. They're selling expansions before it even comes out. I mean, look. They're getting you hyped. They're getting you hyped a year out from now, 6 months at least, right? Oh, I don't want to get the game, but let's say, look at this, you're like, oh, I'm really waiting for the new Siege map, or this new PvE mission, or whatever it is. Why would I purchase it now if the thing I'm waiting for is not until later? Especially when they promoted the Horde mode in the game. But then it wasn't in the game. It came in the game a month ago. Eclipse says, and the Horde mode was the most bare-bone thing they could have done. You can't even build anything. It's not a true Horde mode. It's pretty much what they've been playing the whole time. See, I don't know any of that. So you're saying they basically just did a minimal viable product for Horde mode. You waited a year to get Horde mode, and it wasn't actually a true Horde mode? Like, supporting the game for years and sprinkling content throughout the months, I'll wait. I have no problem waiting. I lose nothing. I don't lose sleep. I don't lose money. I don't care. Because if Space Marine 2 is a fantastic game, guess what? It'll be a fantastic game 4 years from now. Right? And 5 years from now, I will have a complete game and pay a fraction of the price. $23 months. I didn't even see. Look, time flies. Look at that. 23 months. Z. Pretty much. I was like, what's 23 months? And I looked at it because it doesn't highlight it over here. I have to look on another screen. Thank you very much for 23 months, man. Appreciate that. Travis says, I fault no one who waits. That's your right. It's my right to say I get it now, and we both get to enjoy the game. I don't care at what point you enjoy it, only if it's we do enjoy it. Here's the thing, though, Travis. Me waiting helps the industry. You not waiting hurts the industry. Do you understand? I'm not trying to say that what you're doing is wrong. What I'm saying is I want change because I want complete games. You want to play games because you want to play games, but you playing games early access keeps bringing games out that are not complete. Me waiting fixes the problem because they would put out a full game. Yours keeps them going because they don't need the 80%, right? They need the 20% of the people that give them 80% of the money. If no one bought this outright at the beginning, Space Marines 2 would have this game done and they would release a game. But instead, they ask for more money for less of a game, and I wait and you pay double, triple the price that I will pay 3 years from now. Right? I'm not saying I'm not going to buy the game in 3 years. I said after year one happens, I'll buy it on sale. But now they just keep adding more stuff, and I'm like, is this game ever going to be complete? The industry is fucked beyond repair, brother. No, it is not. It's fucked up beyond repair in your head, and you're like, I'm just going to play it anyway. Roic says, I'm tired of these incomplete, broken / buggy games coming out, and they want $70, $80 for it. I don't know if Space Marine 2 was broke or buggy, Roic. All I know is I didn't like the business model when they said it. Right? When they say a complete game and then it's not a complete game, like, look, Saber Interactive came out and they make SnowRunners. SnowRunners has the seasons and stuff like that. But the game itself, it's got 10 missions. It's got tens and 20s and hundreds of hours of actual gameplay. And then there's season passes that you can pick up afterwards, whatever, and they come out once a year or whatever it is. Okay? They had that from the beginning. They said that from the beginning. Right? And SnowRunners, when it came out, when it first came out, I bitched because I was falling through the map. And I was like, fucking broken game, man. Broken game. Yeah, they made Soul Reavers. They remade the 1 and 2, didn't they? We talked about it months and months ago. All I'll say is about this, Travis, and it's not for you specifically, right? It's just because you brought it up. And if you don't care, that's cool, right? If you just care that you want to play games, but then you don't get the right to bitch if games come out broke, buggy, and unfinished. You see what I'm saying? If you buy it day one and it's broke, buggy, and unfinished, I don't want to hear it because they're going to keep doing it because people keep buying it. Where me, if the game comes out broke, buggy, and unfinished, and I didn't purchase it, well, they didn't get my money, and they got a shitty product that came out, and I'll wait for them to fix it, patch it, and then I'll get it at a cheaper discount. I don't reward my child for not listening and not doing what he's told. Right? Right? I say clean your room. He doesn't clean his room. Guess what? He doesn't get stuff. He doesn't get to have fun until he does what he's supposed to be. Make a game, sell a game. Do what you're told. Do what you're supposed to do. Right? Not told. Right? For my son, told. For a business, do what you're supposed to do. Make a game, sell a game. Don't make a half-ass game, band-aid it, and then apologize for a note saying you're going to fix it over time as we're listening, and then do it. I'm more talking about broadly about the industry itself, not Space Marines 2. World says, every time I hear you say SnowRunners, all I can think about is snowboard kids on the N64. Travis says, I get the right to choose where my line is. For example, locking 2 clans behind day one $130 DLC, that bridge too far. But do you know why they do that, right? Because 20% makes 80%. They know 20% of the market will buy the $130 version. Z says, it's okay if you want to be the first to play it. We know what the feel is like. Yeah, 100%. Travis says, I get what you're saying, but the problem is with the industry is that you don't see you as a parent in the case. They also see you as a person who doesn't want the vision they're selling, so they ignore you. Mobile gaming and microtransactions and battle passes, they look at the 20% to make 80%. It doesn't matter. If the 20% turned to 19% or 18% or 17%, you understand that? If it was 15% of the market made 80%, they would just charge more of those 15%. The 15%, they would just up those prices, okay, for the 15% to cover the 5% that left, that stopped buying the microtransactions, because those few outweigh the many. Look at it in just regular world, right? Regular world. If someone steals something from a store, the normal folk that buy the things every single day, we are now more inconvenienced because of the few that make the many, right? So the few that come in and steal something, now they put something behind the shelf and they lock it behind a locked door. And now you can't just go in and grab it and pay for it. You're inconvenienced because it's a broke system, because the few outweigh the many. That's the video game space. Because the few and the industry looks at them and goes, well, all these people like to pay $130. Everybody else is like, well, there goes the industry, because we can't just buy what we want anymore for a complete product. We have to wait for the thing to be done in 12 to 18 to 24 months, because the few are impatient and they buy something because they're not consumers that know what's a good value. They just buy it because they want it. A good non-food analogy. But we play too many games to put up with this new corporate crap. Roic says we have to tell these companies how we feel with our wallets. Don't care about the words. They don't care about. They only care about your money. Right. If you hit them where it hurts, then they will make changes. Altern, that's a good line. So your line's drawn in the sand just close enough to the wave for a wave to remove it. Eclipse is exactly. They're going to make the money from the whales anyway. This is why I want to get games cheap. There's no reason to buy full price. Yeah, it's it is what it is. It's a broken industry, but at the same time, it can be fixed. But people just don't want to fix it. It's almost like, it's just broke. Why do I have to shower every day? Why do I have to shower every day? Because if you don't, you fucking stink. And when you go out to the public, you smell. Right? So for the rest of us, you got to shower. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to shower, cool. But if you go out of the house, make sure you fucking shower. But why? Why do I have to shower? You know, it's like... it doesn't matter. Staph infections are fine. I know lots of people who don't shower every day, but look at them like they are crazy because they would be crazy if they look if you're home all day and you're not doing anything, and you're not sweating or moving or doing anything. Cool. If you sweat, you should take a shower because you stink. Just saying. And on that note, the Daily Grind is done for today. We'll be back tonight for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. We'll be back in about a half hour or so over on 30 and Still Gaming. We're going to be playing, I don't know, I think we're playing more Hell Let Loose with Mr. Luke. If not, we'll play something. So, gaming in about a half hour over on 30 and Still Gaming. We go about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then tonight, GXG podcast, GXG podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on 30 NSG. Appreciate it very much. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Up there again. Welcome to the world that never ends.
Run, escape, open doors in 01. Browse a world where grinding was fun. Halo 2 brought online fight. Xbox Live, friends all night. World of Warcraft ruled the land. Raids and guilds, a global band. Guild Wars said no sub, just buy. Fantasy Star Online reached the sky.
These five, Run, escape, Halo 2, Wild Guild Wars, be it.
Always online, patching through time. Living worlds we buy and grind. Seasons turn, the loot rolls in. Every reset we log back in. From pixel towns to battle scenes. We're chasing live service dreams.
Legends, free to play reign, skins and champs, the money chain. Team Fortress 2 with hats on show. Cosmetic cash flow starts to grow. Destiny promise, 10-year plan. Shared world shooter for every fan. Warframe rising from the dust. Space Ninja grind you learn to trust. Hearthstone cards became a trend. Digital decks with no real end.
Always online, patching through time. Living worlds we buy and grind. Events drop, the hype begins. Every update pulls us in. From mobile fights to cosmic scenes. We're chasing live service dreams.
Overwatch squads and payload wars. Seasonal skins unlock the doors. Pokemon Go got us outside. Catching mons with AR pride. Fortnite dropped, the island's hot. Battle Pass Gold, the juggernaut. PUBG built the BR craze. Winner, gameplay stays. Apex Legends, squad-based flair. Respawn spin kept players there.
Always online, patching through time. Living worlds we buy and grind. Seasons roll, the meta spins. Every patch we dive right in. From payload runs to battle scenes. We're chasing live service dreams.
Genshin Impact got to rise. Anime worlds beneath the skies. Call of Duty, Warzone fight. Dropping in each endless night. Final Fantasy second thrives. MMO King, it still survives. Roblox builds with endless play. User worlds lead the way. Marvel Rivals joins the show. Superhero squads are set to go.
Always online, patching through time. Living worlds we buy and grind.
From raids to drop, from skins to wins.
Every error pulls us in. History told in data streams. We're chasing lives.